Season of the Haunted is now here, and with it an epic introduction to the story that will unfold over this season. Calus is back with nightmares, Zavala's wife haunts him, Aldrin Sov and Eris Morn going full witch mode. In today's video we're going to explain the events that launched the story for this season and where it may be heading with the system's latest disciple in Emperor Calus.
It is the beginning of the end. A dormant herald of the collapse stirs in its lunar tomb. Where once we banished the nightmares, a new terror rouses them from their slumber. Calus, the Emperor of the Cabal, betrayed by his own daughter and cast into exile. Now obsessed with a voice calling to him from within the darkness.
The last we heard of Emperor Calus was that he was aboard the Glycon Velatis in search of a way to communicate with the voice in the darkness, the Witness. To do this, he would experiment on the Scorn using the Hive Crown of Sorrow, binding their voices together and creating the Locus of Communion, which he then would use to speak to that voice.
Scribe Omsat states, "The Emperor shows us we chase a mirage. The darkness is nothing but a great basin of formless thoughts. A vast tangle of composting chaos. Calus seeks the entity who speaks through the darkness.
The darkness is a primal force, wielded like the light. How simple."
In his ventures, Calus was successful and vanished along with his Leviathan vessel for about 3 seasons. Now though, the Emperor has returned, a disciple of the Witness, and is interested with something happening with the Lunar Pyramid, and we are sent in to investigate.
Shortly after the Leviathan's arrival, it emitted a disruptive frequency.
We assumed the broadcast was comms interference.
But then the pyramid responded. I believe a connection has been made. Your task is to confirm that notion and assess the danger.
Aboard the derelict Leviathan, we see the same flowers we did on the Glycon, and also nightmares from the moon. The weird thing was that these nightmares were normally tethered to that lunar pyramid, meaning they should stay on the moon, but now they're in space aboard Calus's ship, and something is completely wrong.
Do you see the phantoms? Strange that they have left the moon. They were generated by the lunar pyramid, dredged trauma like scorch marks lifted from a ruin. That door leads to Calus's throne. The helm's instruments detect it is radiating pyramid resonance.
She's guiding us to Calus.
One of Calus's contraptions.
Eris wants to use her hive magic to confront these nightmares head-on, perform a ritual with Crow, Zavala, and Kydal to learn the truth, bind them together, and sever the ties trapping their nightmares in their heads. Kydal disagrees, but the others don't, and the ritual takes place.
This will anchor our offerings. Now, tithe your weights to the crown.
My heart, from a time long past.
My memory, from one life to the next.
Song of Sothona, your words are mine to command. Borlog, Iot.
Eris!
Chords plucked in authored throats find chorus. Echoes once dissonant, exhumed, find harmony in binding flesh. It burdens. It burdens. It burdens until the choir relents, accepting. Iot. We are bound.
So that cutscene was kinda weird. Eris does some really crazy Hive stuff, which I'll probably make another video on, but she mentions Song of Sathona, or Savathun's song, and channels Hive powers using the Crown of Sorrow. In the past, we know the Crown of Sorrow is not good. This device that once corrupted users like Galron was now under Eris Morn's control, who calls herself a new witch.
It is done. We are inexorably bound to the power of this Hive artifact, and to one another. The Crown of Sorrow was once forged by Savathun's hand, designed as a psychic prison, binding the mind of its bearer to her will. Now it serves a new witch. You have become a reaper of darkness, dooming slain nightmares to imprisonment within the crown. Calus has begun to forge a bond between the Leviathan and the dormant pyramid buried on the moon. I do not yet know why or how, but with enough imprisoned nightmares, I can use their essence to invoke a ritual to sever those connections Calus is forging.
Eris explains that the Crown of Sorrow has a different purpose now than it did before, but it still makes you wonder, and you still kind of get that uneasy feeling when you're around it. Thanks to this ritual, Eris says we are binded together, and this begins our adventure for this season, using the Nightmare Harvester to slay the nightmares, trap them, and cut the ties we have with our own nightmares to learn the truth behind what's happening. Why has Calus returned, and why is he connecting with that lunar pyramid? Now we can always speculate for fun, of course. Is this a test from the Witness? Maybe Calus doesn't have a pyramid chip of his own yet, and he's trying to take this one from the moon. We don't know much about the relationship between the Witness and their disciples, but we do know the Witness likes to command them. Ralk, for example, was sent into Savathun's throne world to watch over her and try and convert her to the dark side to become her own disciple. To me, Calus seems too new, so would he have the full power of disciples yet, or does he have something to prove? The first Sever mission involves Crow and Aldrin Sov. We then have plotlines like Zavala and his wife at some point in the future, and also the situation with Keitel. We see that she chose not to take part in this ritual, and the Nightmare of Gaul is standing behind her.
The Leviathan has become an extension of the lunar pyramid, channeling feelings of shame and regret into reality. The pyramid did so as a security system, driving away those who would tamper with it. But what is happening on the Leviathan? This is purposeful, malicious. As the nightmares on the Leviathan spread, it could threaten Earth and beyond. Calus's bond with the pyramid endangers all of us. Crow was unprepared to face his own demons when we attempted to sever it.
Anyway, Guardians, there you have it, a quick little summary of what's going on at the beginning of Season of the Haunted, and where it could lead with the connection between Calus, the Pyramid, and ultimately the Witness. This is just a little summary video, but if you'd like to dive way more in depth, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as I'm already writing some of those scripts now. Also, let me know in the comments what videos you would like to see, and we may get to some of those in the future as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.